Here we are already going to see some awesome names come out here, some new, some old. For Ole Miss, we are seeing the likes of Geiger's father, who, again, formerly known as Nemesis 9, I believe. And then taking a look at Icelandic Hero as well coming out here. Your Uncle Sam is a great name as well. And then Shogo as well coming in. And then Rhino on that support.
I wish my Uncle Sam was half as good at mid lane. And I want to highlight too, Nem9 likes to change his name a lot. Last week he was Ryan Gosling top. So apparently Geiger's father is Ryan Gosling. That's actually kind of cool. For Maryville, we've got PCL in the top lane. I'm actually curious if they're playing PCL tonight or whether they're using Spyrax in that top lane. Is that, did Iconic name change again from Amazo to Ski? Get back in the mid lane. Silly Billy 66 or what? Scary Jerry, Silly Billy. This roster looks really sus for Maryville. That's all I'm saying. And Zyko, thank you for keeping your name the same. And Get Back, if you did change your name back from that string of letters, thank you for being sane again and letting us actually pronounce your name. Playing space in the top lane for PCL to really skill up on that Jax. On the other hand, when you look at Ole Miss's composition, Syndra needs time to skill. Ezreal needs time to skill. And what is this? They're trying to secure priority here for Scary Jerry, or Silly Billy, as he's calling himself right now, in this bot lane. And I love that. You pick the Lucian, you want to dominate early with it.
And I think this is also appropriate from Shogo, understanding that, hey, this is a problem. You know what this composition wants to do. You know exactly what they plan to do. And, you know, you drop the ward, you lose that early initiative in laning phase, but that's fine, right? You're in Ezreal. Once you hit level 2, you are going to be relatively okay. This is also going to be a nice little look. Sam going ahead and being that living ward there in the brush, and then the ward's going down, so checks all the way around. Apparently something is taking 9.9k damage in the bush and just didn't want to be seen, so that's another fun one.
Now, bro, you mentioned the ward sort of that Shogo loses in that bush there, but I do want to highlight Zyko taking that sweeper early. It's the trade-off, right? No matter where you drop that ward, as long as Scary Jerry and Zyko were aware of it, they would clear it anyways. And Maryville, with that sweeper in the bot lane, that's what they want. They want to deny vision so they can do the bush play. Even if we look bot right now, you can already see Zyko and Silly Billy. They're sat in that middle bush, daring Shogo and Rhino to step up. The Bard, actually, did we know it was a Bard? I thought it was a different champion at first.
No, it was listed as Bard on there. So that's the interesting thing as well. And also, yes, this is the fun part. We are getting 9,999 at every kill, whether that's a minion or camp. So just keep that in mind. You will see 9,999 a lot this game.
Okay, for now though.
Oh wait, maybe not. I don't know. I saw it earlier. There it is. I see it. Okay, apparently our numbers are massively OP right now. That's going to be a jump in. PCL, who is actually playing this time around. You were questioning that. They are going to be playing here in game 1.
Yeah, for now, I'm just not looking at the numbers. I'm just looking at the health bars and how quickly Nem9's vanished in that top lane. That's not really what you want to see as the Cassante that early on. But Jax is notorious for his level 1, his ability to just kind of walk up and counter-strike you as well. So, you know, with the regeneration from Duran Shield, with the extra biscuits, Nem9 should be fine. Much more interesting to me is the jungler pathing. Both of them started in that top side. So Icelandic Hero is not trying to get Nem9 ahead. He's going to try and stop this pressure that we're already seeing Scary Jerry and Zyko put down. You need to make sure you don't get dove early by that J4.
That is going to be that big problem. Keep eyes, keep track, keep vision, and at the same time, keep your HP bars alive. At the current moment, though, the pressure is coming in from Maryville. You can see all 3 lanes currently pushed past the river and identifying that, hey, we are going to get the early lead. Our champions love to do this, and we want to continue putting the pressure down. Right now, though, it is a challenge for Ole Miss to kind of figure out their own identification, how they want to get out of this, plucky situation.
For Ole Miss, they just kind of want to farm right now. Like the onus isn't necessarily on them to get out of the situation till the situation appears. And normally, if you're Ole Miss, you are kind of worried about that J4 gank, right? Jarvan oftentimes likes to skip camps, get those early ganks down, and that's why we're seeing Icelandic kind of just hover in that bot lane. We're seeing Shogo and Rhino play a bit more carefully, but Iconic has actually opted to full clear his own jungle before coming down there. And while that's not usually ideal for a J4, if it kind of desyncs the gank and you can actually clear out the vision and some of the wards expire, then it's very, very much worth it. We'll have to see though, because Iconic actually just walked away completely from bot lane, decided we're not even going to try and dive this. Rhino and Shogo have healed up, they're healthy. Where are we going instead? Sam spots him out again.
And that's the power of the wards once again. Sam saying, okay, we know where you are. The first gank, and honestly, I would say the first pressure movement has been thwarted, which is appropriate. However, take a look at the vision as well. Maryville setting up a strong set to cover this dragon, ensure that they don't lose out in the global objective game as well, which I can very much appreciate.
And I mean, considering you've got that Lucian in the bot lane, for you to lose that first dragon would be very, very painful. And we're seeing a CS discrepancy already as Scary Jerry is pressuring down. Now, of course, with the hole clear and because nothing happened in the bot lane, our eyes have to go to the top lane instead because junglers are back up in the top lane. It looked for a second like Nem9 was pushing in onto PCL, but without any jungle pressure, Nem9 is just using that for a fast reset instead. And with the ward situation, I think this favors Ole Miss, right? We said before they are the ones who want kind of extended laning phases, safer laning phases. So nothing happening is a good thing happening for Ole Miss right now.
I would also like to point out in the back of my mind, everyone should know that Bard's heals actually heal minus 2 million, I believe is what I saw right there. Very, very impressive. Taking a look, though, it is taking a look at the top side once again. We are seeing Nemesis, I believe, was able to get back in time or has been healing up. No, actually did recall. I take a look at the item. It has been traded out and was able to find a good one as well. Didn't have to burn that TP. So getting back to lane with that Sheen will be a lifesaver in some of these situations.
Iconic sitting in the mid lane, trying to find, gets a knockup, but unfortunately, I just don't think Get Back's in position yet.
And the other side is Sam has been playing very, very safe, very smart as well. And now you also spotted out that Nautilus on the bot side because the bot lane had gone ahead and recalled in. It was a chance movement. So Sam said, I know what's going on. I understand what will happen. However, because of that, the dragon will be started here for the side of Maryville.
I kind of find it amusing, Orbital, that the mid lane hasn't been using wards to spot out a lot of these ganks incoming. It's been Sam literally, like you said, playing Living Ward at level 1. And in this case, it was Icelandic actually spotting the roam up from Zyko as well that's been keeping Uncle Sam safe. So, kind of scary top side. Nem9, oh my goodness.
I also feel that was a little bit cheeky. I wonder if PCL had actually stuck on that. That would have been a kill, especially since you have Grasp and Sheen in your own pocket. So the fact that neither player burned Flash shows a lot of restraint, I think, on their sides.
Yeah, I think PCL was just kind of holding back. He already burnt the full combo as the Jax. If you go in with the all-out, there's the risk you kind of get dragged under turret and pinned to the turret and everything. So just kind of playing it a little bit safer. And why not, right? You're forcing the teleport out of Nem9 up there, and that's going to give you pressure later on bot lane. Shogo gets caught out.
And was not able to draw that nice E buffer and instead eats a massive chunk of damage. You still have Flash, thankfully, but your HP bar is looking dreadful.
And you might have Flash, but you don't have TP. So Shogo can't pull the same thing Nem9 just did, where you just go back to base, TP back to lane. You're relying on those Bard hills, and I'm worried about level 6. Once Scary Jerry hits level 6, that is eminently diveable. Heck, actually, more importantly, when Zyko hits level 6, that Flash is not going to save you.
Nope. It is going to be insta-death, and that is what you have to be careful about. Taking a look here, top side, we are just drawn up to the top side time and time again, but take a look. This is going to be a jungle battle. Looking in the jungle side, we are seeing Icelandic look for a chance. However, on the spot side, another big chunk taken out of the Bard, and Rhino not enjoying that one. However, Icelandic really going for this camp, and I'm not sure if it was really worth it. You are going to be taken quite low. You get another knockup, and you are going to be safe. So Icelandic is allowed to live because Sam rotated around. I don't think that should be allowed, but it has happened. So Ole Miss happily getting away with that one, but they're still going. Take a look at that mini map. They're still fighting here, as this is going to be that big problem. Get back now getting sucked out and forced away as we get a dive on the bot side. These are times, moves, and moves and moves. Take a look. You block 2 moves. The bot side will take the pain. Sam going a very cheeky route now. However, the J4 is going to cut them off, and all of a sudden, it's actually Sam that's in a bad spot. Throws the W, tries to throw in, tries to get some damage, gets stunned out. The damage unleashed will not be enough. So for all that just occurred, it is actually going to be 2 kills to Maryville side. Icelandic, though, wants a little piece of the pie. Round 3, ding, ding, ding. All right, you go back to your corner. Just stay there, please, for now.
The insane thing, Orbital, was how little mana Maryville had as well. You saw Uncle Sam just chasing Get Back all the way up there, chasing Iconic out. Why? Because Get Back had no mana. So they couldn't actually turn it around, but they managed to wait it out. And the fact that PCL didn't die, I think, was the single biggest thing. He was down to slivers, but because he didn't die, that gave Maryville the strength in the top side. Now, Ole Miss trying to make up for that. They've got the health advantage, and while they might not have gotten the play up top, they should be able to get this Herald if they're not distracted.
Well, Zyko trying to dance a little bit more.
Zyko
The Ignite
said-
should take it, and it is going to be the kill. And now the Herald. So you could actually see Zyko trying to keep things in level. And actually, it does reset. You know what, Maryville? They're going to be like, okay, that's not a horrendous situation. They're actually going to look in towards mid, and Sam, and we get chunked out to about 50.
Okay, that was massive. The fact that Iconic was around and had the smite ready, Ole Miss didn't want to flip on that Herald. And with how mobile Jarvan is, especially with the flash up for Iconic right now, I don't fault Ole Miss for that. Unfortunately, not getting the Herald means they lost out on the plays, right? They lost that topside play. Bot side as well. The fact that Rhino recalled and Shogo got left alone. We talked a lot about the fact that, hey, Scary Jerry hit 6, Zyko hit 6. That's a kill in the bot lane. Without the support, you saw it. As soon as Scary Jerry hit 6, they just dove and got the kill. Got even more pressure down. And then now Maryville gets their resets. Everybody's back on. They get to walk towards that Herald pit. And for Ole Miss, because you just lost out, because the resets just came through, you kind of have to seat that Herald and most likely the Dragon in minute as well.
I'm also very curious where Iconic's actually going to drop this Herald, because I was taking a look, right? We talked about the fact that pretty much every lane has had some form of pressure in there and have been more than willing to be proactive. So you really have your pick of the litter, where you want to drop it, where you want to get in everyone's face. And I'll just be very, very interested to kind of watch how it goes down as the supports have a little bit of combat. The fact that Rhino doesn't have an ADC, though, means it's a little bit more slated over towards Zyko's side. Now in mid, we're getting the usual exchange of greenies between the two as Dragon is up in just 35 seconds.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit worried for this top lane right now as we see the trade between Nem9 and PCL go down. We mentioned before in Champion Select that, hey, Jax really does outskill that Cassante later on. And usually with Cassante, you just need him to be an absolute unit to buy space. But if he's dead, he can't buy that space. And PCL right now is just whacking him away. The split push pressure is going to be massive. And Jax is a strong team fighter as well with that Counter-Strike, with the way his Grandmaster at Arms, his ultimate kind of works. And now you can see Nem9 just being zoned out completely. Doesn't even have flash, so has to be careful stepping up. Oh, that landed?
Now this mid lane as well, getting a problem here. The shockwave actually draws him away, though. But because you have that value, 10k all the way around, because you got that kill, especially with the Dragon coming up here, Ole Miss don't really have a chance to go for it.
And just say overall, I hate Nautilus Q. The lollipopping on that skill is ridiculous. I thought Uncle Sam was actually safe. And it was a great scatter of the week, but it just doesn't matter when there's that much gap closers. TPs being called into this bot lane. Before?
Oh, and that's a great Bard ulti. Drops 2, and now it's going to be Icelandic to go in. That's going to be the knockups, and they're going to go in. Remember, the kills earlier don't really matter, as that's going to be the trade. Zyko and Rhino both pick up a kill apiece, and I'm not sure if that's exactly what you like. However, the Dragon does reset. It should sit at about 4 or 5k. However, round number 2 coming up. Sam, you're about to die as soon as you came back up. That'll be the kill picked up by Get Back. Following up, Dragon resets again as Rhino tries to get some revenge, but that'll be Iconic to happily help out. Yes, you fall, but you're getting right in their face. Shogo actually arcing just in the middle of a minion wave and tried to back them off. However, with the quick exchange of blows, I think it still lands in Maryville's favor.
Well, kind of. So it does, but at the same time, Shogo gets kills. And for a second, it could have gone a lot worse for Maryville, and that Shogo could have picked up even more kills. Right now, this Ezreal is one of the 2 big ticking time bombs for the side of Ole Miss, and I think Shogo's going to be fine with that. Not only did he get some kills, he also gets to pick up farm in the mid lane, which is something he's been starved of in that sort of 2v2 situation against Scary Jerry. I'm much more interested in what happened top lane, because I saw the TP come through from Nem9, and then he's suddenly winning this matchup. So I'm just very curious to see if, like, was it just the TP? Did PCL just not have as much health? This bot lane fight's still not over. Dragon's still up, and Ole Miss is still trying to secure it.
Okay, and I mean, they do get it because Icelandic was on it much, much earlier after those recalls, thankfully, because you died, right? We don't talk about that. But you died, you came back, you got the Dragon, and now those Hex-Tech Dragons are going to be up and available. 3 to take the soul, and now Iconic is still dancing inside because you still have that Herald to play with. As you were talking about on the top side, though, that was a Mythic versus a non-Mythic setup, so I wonder if that slow from the Gauntlet was enough to deter that PCL push outside of it.
Well, we will never find out overall because PCL picked up his own Mythic. Divine Sunder as well, and using that teleport to get into lane, into pressure. Now, that does mean that both Nem9 and PCL will be out of it for the next little while. Great flash from Uncle Sam to keep him alive. And this bot lane just don't quit. I feel like I keep thinking it's over. Like, we saw the team fight, and then I thought the Dragon was done. It's not done. And now even the dive.
Yeah, they say, look, the ADC isn't there. It's actually just Sam, and we can pinch Sam. However, you do divert a kill back to Icelandic, and now the tower is actually going to be safe as well. So with everything going on, heads up play on both ends, you kind of negate how much you are going to lose thanks to that Bard as well. You lose 1-for-1. Now, Silly is getting laid up because Scary Jerry can't be Silly and Scary at the same time. Geiger now, in the face of Divine Thunder, is falling out just a wee bit. And action across the map. Barrage, baby! Fire in the hole. Shogo with the snipe.
Oh, that's huge! And we were just talking about Shogo getting kills, getting scary. That is what Trinity Force completed. Once that Mirror Mana comes online, that's when I'm really scared. Rhino? Rhino doesn't have flash? Do they know? Oh, Maryville doesn't know.
That is ballsy. By the way, that is pretty ballsy to back right there.
Yeah, with Zyko especially too. I guess they didn't really have full vision of Zyko, but I was just thinking like, hey, if Zyko shows up right there, I'm not confident Rhino gets out, but Rhino does. And more importantly as well, Shogo continues to push on that bot lane, gets the wave shove in, picks that up, denies it away from Silly Billy. So far, Ole Miss, yes, they're down gold, about 2K, but as far as their game plan is concerned and their composition, they're okay with this. They managed to snag one of the dragons. They're keeping very, very even. If anything, pressures on Maryville to really start getting a more significant lead, especially as mid-game rolls around.
And I'm very interested as well. We are seeing that Get Back is going for that Leandri, so a little bit more burn because of the tanks coming out here. That will actually, I think, drop a little bit of the damage, right? It's burn over time, right? You're looking at the dot, you're looking at the burn and all that. It's not the Ludens or anything like that. But it's still applying that 2-0-3 scoreline that they've been able to back up. This Orianna will be powerful coming into this mid-game and looking like a strength to not be too disrespectful to, I think is the best word to say.
Yeah, and with the Orianna, I do think that's a wise buy. There are some members who'll have to try and cut through later on. The poke from the ball command move and command attack can be command distance, pardon me, can also be very, very strong. Most importantly, your burst doesn't have to just come from Orianna, right? You've got the Lucian. Silly Billy is really, really strong. Kraken Slayer is picked up. So that's going to be one way to pick off target. And PCL as well. We've not seen the top laners get involved in fights just yet. But I'm just waiting for that massive Counter-Strike to go along with that command shockwave and dissonance to just absolutely vanish some of the squishier members of Ole Miss.
I mean, it'll be like a Houdini act right now as we got 4 grouped up here, 1 off on the flank for Ole Miss. But they're just going to look again. Sam, this is about the 3rd or 4th time that they've been caught out, and it's a problem. You lose another member, and they are down in the waters. You can't finish off, or actually you did. You were able to grab the Herald, but you still lose a member for it. PCL now on their own side. But look at the ganks. Rhino's going to get drawn in 2-on-2v, 1v1, and they're looking to fight ever further. Getback's going to try and get over the wall, but you can't get away from death. Now it's another grab behind as Icelandic is going to get cut down. The shots coming out of Scary Jerry are scary to behold as they are 3-2-1 with the Kraken Slayer.
How did Ole Miss not win that? I thought they had it when Rhino dropped that beautiful Bard out onto multiple members on Maryville. It really stopped the advance because it looked for a second there like Maryville was just going to roll right over Ole Miss. But unfortunately, Shogo wasn't able to kill PCL. And Shogo made the choice to go and back up Nem9 instead of that rest of the fight. And despite that, despite not getting Herald, Maryville, I think, are going to be pretty happy with the Herald fight. What happens after, and in this case, losing first turret to Shogo, probably less happy about. But there's nothing they could do about that. Great from Ole Miss to identify that, but still strong fighting from Maryville, and I expect to see more of that as their comp is starting to come into form.
Not just that, Dragon's coming up in just a little bit as well. These fights have been happening time and time again around the global objectives, and I really, really like it. But that also means that they're very predictable as well. You're taking a look at the compositions and how they're drafting up. The wards going down, but not as far for Maryville. All their wards, remember, the last time the Dragon came up, I believe most of the wards were actually shoved into the other side of the jungle. They were at least contesting. At this point, though, Ole Miss have control. Their ward line is pushed up. Pretty much all vision is taken away. And now you have double buffs coming in on both sides. That is going to be on Shogo as well as Icelandic.
Good little bit of burst of damage caught onto Scary Jerry there. You'll have to be careful that doesn't happen when there's more members around. And yeah, this is a little bit what I was concerned about Orbital. The fact that Ole Miss just surrounds the Dragon with the strength that they just showed. They had the better timings. Now, Maryville is answering with PCL pushing the top lane. And we've seen Jax's kind of 1v5 and turn things around. Are we fighting here after Dragon's gone?
I don't think it's supposed to happen, but it's like what
Why?
they're wanting to do here. Look at this. They're on a ward, by the way. They think they're not on a ward and are constantly getting bitten off, and now they're going to try and draw Icelandic in. However, there's a fight on the other side going on as Sam and Get Back fight each other. This is actually what happened at the last time as well. There's so many little pieces, and because of that Bard ult, the TPs are going to be one-on-one as well. Look at the split. That's going to be iconic to try and get out and alive, but the rest of Maryville are chasing down these kills. Look at the dash, getting away from the likes of Nem9. Nem9 going to get some help over the wall, and now the two-shot barrage is going to crush on 2. That's going to get him low enough to kill off Scary. Jerry is going to fall. This is Ole Miss saying, hey, we can take these fights as well. What a brutal, brutal bloodbath.
Ole Miss got Dragon, and they got the kills. They bought the king at 82. Like, what on earth, bro? And I am so puzzled by Maryville's decision right there. PCL still playing with fire. PCL was split pushing top. He got a turret. He was continuing to push. And if you leave him in isolation with Nem9, he'd have eventually won as well. Maryville had no reason to be poking their head around there at that time, but they got a little bit greedy. And Ole Miss, give that team an Oscar, because the way they played Iconic right there, Iconic had no clue that he was in full vision the entire time. And even then, with all those advantages, it was close, Orbital. Get Back actually zoned out the majority of the back line of Ole Miss. And if not for the fact that, once again, Pocket Rhino being that hero, using that Bard so well, using that magical journey to get this team back together again, that could have gone a lot worse, but didn't, thankfully, for Ole Miss.
Take a breath. Take a deep, deep breath. Because we said these global objectives have been the point of contact, and the fact that these teams are fighting time and time again, Baron is up on the table. You can already see that Maryville are like, I don't think we're going to go for it, but we have to get the wards down already. Wards being dropped, 2 covering in the river. Well, this mid lane is now going to be tempted. Ole Miss going to drop the Herald, and again, no Bard ult on the side of Maryville to deny this tower breaking. However, it is going to catch out Zyko, who is going to get drawn in. You flash into the queue, but it's enough under the tower that you're happy. Take a look on the other side, though. This is going to be the teleport.
Iconic,
and now you're going to try and get a cataclysm in. Yes, you do, but there's no Orianna. That's going to be the backside. Get Back is able to get back. Low HP, but can they follow up? No, they can't. Look at that. They had the combination, but they can't have the follow-up. PCL is the only one going to jump forward, but the rest of the team isn't there because of that. Ole Miss take the kill. Silly has to run. Scary Jerry is nothing more than a light novel under your bed, and now you're probably going to fall here. A final cue from Shogo as Ole Miss dance the dance of death and come out of hell alive.
Who needs Baron, Orbital, when you can just kill pretty much the entire team and keep on pushing? They actually don't take the inhibitor at this point. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't want to push too far in. They still have 20 seconds actually on that respawn for Scary Jerry, and PCL was like 18 at that point, but instead they're just going for these outer turrets. And we should be in the mid game, Orbital. This should be Maryville's power spike, but you can see they just are lacking a little bit of gold and a little bit of damage. The idea of the flank was good, but Get Back didn't have enough follow-up to actually get those kills. You saw the outline of it when PCL kind of got in there, but once they filled the burst, this team from Maryville is really going to struggle in these extended fights unless you can get PCL on critical targets. And this Baron now becomes a lot more dangerous because now Ole Miss is stronger, their comp scales better, and for Maryville, you don't have the turrets either. You've lost most of the turrets that access that Baron area. So Ole Miss, if they set down a ward line to try and catch out Maryville coming in, Maryville is really going to struggle to even walk into their own jungle at that point.
Not just that, we're also taking a look at some of the other matches and where Maryville is currently looking, because in that last fight, it was the ults actually landed, but they were disjointed, I think is the best way to put it, right? We saw the Cataclysms go in, and then Get Back was nowhere close to getting that ult off. So, you know, Maryville, they may be looking to force one of these big fights coming up here. However, take a look at what other objective is on the map, one that may not be as gamble heavy as the Baron. Dragon will be coming up in about 35 seconds. So, you know, both teams may not want to attempt to aggro this big ticket item. However, right now with that recall, looks like they'll be okay. Zyko spotting out that the Bard does fall away and instead is able to walk back out safely.
Okay, so here's the thing, Orbital. I agree. The Baron's a lot riskier. It's a big ticket item, and you know the Dragon's easier to take. But that's not working in favor of Maryville right now, because with the gold discrepancy, with the comp discrepancy, a fast objective like Dragon, Ole Miss can burn that and turn and still fight. Whereas at Baron, that's when he gets squishy. And I think, Uncle Sam, is he caught?
Kind of, because there's not really any damage behind it. I just want to point that out. They're trying. This is the third time, and that's actually a great combination because now Sam can get away, and the rest of the team is coming in. I mean, not really caught because there was no damage behind it. We watched him try and wail on this APC, and they were doing fine. Sam turns a 2v1 into gank heaven.
So remember when I said for MU, you know, they want Baron because that's where Ole Miss might get shredded. They might take more damage. Yeah, no, not when your jungler's dead. Then now Ole Miss gets to pick that up. I'm glad Maryville have recognized that, hey, you know what, we lost the top side. Let's just go do Dragon instead. Silly Billy going to solo that one out. And PCL, he's still trying to split push, but he doesn't have the magic resist to deal with the Syndra.
No, Sam's been punished enough, by the way. Most deaths on the team, actually more so than the rest of the team combined. And yet just furious, right? Dropping those orbs time and time again, saying, let me go ahead and get some damage down as well. And this big split pusher in PCL is not going to carry over as much as they would like. So taking a look here, Maryville now have to face off against the threat of a 5-man Baron, depending on where they wish to go, whether that go mid, top, bot, or all of the above.
Now, for Maryville, there's still a chance. One good thing about a wombo combo composition is that the damage is often always going to be enough to actually kill the squishies if you can reach the squishy. So if they can... Okay, they're trying to kill the squishy. They are definitely trying.
I mean, if Sam can actually bait this one out well, that'll be great. Your flash is coming up in just a second. I mean, you dodged just about everything you could. However, you did ramp up enough time to make sure your team gets that inhibitor. Not just that, you're now flooding into this top side where the Cassante has pushed forward. Because of that, that will be a happy one as well. For your singular life, your team has now gathered an inhibitor as well as 1, maybe 2 towers.
I have very mixed feelings about that Orbital, because now they are numbers down. This is Maryville's opportunity to try and turn the tides. They just need to hard commit to this. Icelandic hero gets caught out. There's no shockwave from Get Back.
No, there's not, but there's enough chunking that, hey, you get that kill. However, look on the top side. Again, that is now 2 deaths for another inhibitor, and this should feel great. For Ole Miss, their Baron is now very much worth it.
Okay, so I had mixed feelings about Uncle Sam getting caught Orbital. I don't know if that one was worth necessarily, but what Icelandic hero did, that I think is worth, because he actually bought enough time for them to take that second inhibitor, and you were down a person. So if you tried to brute force into a 3-1 split push, there was a chance that Maryville would just turn the tides with the numbers advantage. Baron is still ticking. Ole Miss is still pushing. Uncle Sam is back up. Did TP back in.
Oh, they caught 2. Can they follow up? Yes, they do. They go ahead and grab 1 life. Psycho actually jumps into the fray and is going to die as well. In comes the redemption to keep them all healed up. And because of that, they can continue. That is iconic, being iconically punished, as that is a triple kill for Shogo. Shogo's looking for the ECL, trying to jump in, looking for the peripheral counter strike. Can't find it. That's a quadra kill. That's an ace. And Ole Miss pretty much burst into the mid game with a dub. GG to game number 1.
As they back off waiting for minions. They still need their minions to attack with them. But yes, this is going to be a wrap. And well, bro, we did say it was a rematch, so I guess they had to kind of go run it back a little bit, right? Give Ole Miss game 1, and huge props to Ole Miss with the way they played it, because they played early, and in fact, I think it was in play-ins we saw that if Cassante starts getting a hit of that Gwen as well, she ends up not hitting the point where she can cut through the absolute unit that is Cassante. So PCL, we used to make jokes about Pi can lane, Pi can't lane. Well, this game, Pi has to lane, because if Pi doesn't lane well against M9, then things are going to be very, very bad. But on the other hand, if he can shut down that Gwen, maybe that's an opportunity. Maybe PCL can be that engage that Maryville needs to be able to hunt down Shogo.
Would you say that if Pi can't lane, Pi can't game? Is that what we're leaning into now? Is that going to be a problem later on? All right, that one fell flat. I'm sorry.
No.
Take a look here. We are having the battle lines drawn. It is going to be very simplistic as well. Taking a look at the situation. Remember, last time Maryville were on the charge. This time around, you don't really have that threat engage tool, the 4-man bodies that you can just throw into sign. And because of that, we're actually getting some fun wards being dropped down here. You can go ahead, take a look. 1 ward over there, I believe, on those Raptors, saying, hey, we are going to see where Iconic decides to start.
Oh, Rhino in a bush alone. It's worth noting, Shogo's not even nearby. And Zyko and ScareJ hesitated for a second. They're like, wait, surely Rhino's not alone, right? If they had all in, they could have done more damage. But I'm going to be honest, from Alistar at bot lane, like, neither of them care about taking that level 1
right
damage.
I was about to say, like, there's not much that's gonna happen either way.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tickles. They're just gonna heal right back up. Right now, it's this bot lane is a farm fest, which actually surprises me that Icelandic hero is starting top side, because now I don't necessarily think you're gonna really get kill threat. And I guess Ole Miss, it's kind of similar to game one where we said nothing happening is a good thing happening for Ole Miss. And I think it's the same mentality right now.
And I mean, if it leans the way that it did before, I think that's great, right? They stalled out the early game. I think the least amount that they've had was that situation of, I think it was only about 2.5K difference, right? And then they quickly made it up. So if the same trend follows, they're going to be quite happy. Not just that, though, we are seeing a little bit of a lilt in terms of Ole Miss actually having pressure in this early game. Remember, last time in game number 1 as well, all 3 lanes were bullied into them. They were the ones on the back foot waiting for those towers to kind of free farm up.
Now, part of that is just the lane shove part of me and just how the lanes are going. I do expect to see top and mid kind of go the way of Maryville, and I expect to see them get that pressure. Bot lane, on the other hand, though, that's the lane where I don't think we're going to be able to see Maryville really bully out Ole Miss, at least not in isolation. If Iconic ganks down there, maybe that happens. But if not, I think the range control and the wave control that Jinx has, their ability to just use the rockets to shove waves from such a safe range, is going to make it really difficult for Scary Jerry and Zago to move around, which is one of my concerns with this Xayah pick. And I'm still waiting to kind of see how Scary Jerry is going to be able to make this one really work.
I mean, not just that, you're talking about waiting for that little invitation, that little bit of help coming out from the jungle side. We did see Icelandic already get a first gank off on your minimap. You saw the flash go down, so that is actually get back that is on the receiving end of that point. Because of that, you now go back to lanes. Icelandic is going to be a little bit slower behind in terms of clearing out that bot side into the scuttle. So for Iconic, you do get that quick tap. You're already up on level 4, and you're looking to try and hit level 6 ASAP.
And the trade-off, of course, for that speed orbital, as you mentioned, the gank, the flash down for get back does mean that on this Jace, you normally want to play quite aggressively, get the poke, go in and trade hard on Victor. You won't be able to do that safely anymore, especially if you don't have eyes on Icelandic. So Iconic has to make good on that advantage because it comes at the cost of the mid lane. Now, you can still gank pre-6 with that Talia. I just don't know if necessarily you're going to be able to pull it off successfully.
Well, this is going to be the second one as Icelandic is looking good. Stun under the tower, but a knockup coming out from Zyko, and it actually grabs Icelandic near the tower range. Nice. And there's no chance out. Very well done. Quick pick up there, and that'll be Scary Jerry looking a bit better here.
Okay, so a gank from Talia can be a little bit difficult pre-6, but the counter gank is good, and they're just revisiting this. Rhino has flash.
I think the shove is there as well. That's going to be a route into almost automatic shove, and that combination is deadly, by the way. We will see that time and time again. Feathers into shove, into stun. That is going to be the bread and butter of Maryville. Right now, though, good out by Rhino.
Yeah, that was a super long CC combo that can come through, and that's why we're a little bit worried, when Rhino gets caught by the first bit of it, but we're early enough in the game, and we mentioned, Braum, very, very tanky champion, doesn't care too much with damage. Ooh, the Braum Q didn't hit, so I don't think they know Scary Jerry's still there.
No, I don't think they stepped out of bush either.
No support.
And that's going to be the feathers, but the wall is up. So, again, it's that scary point, and both teams may be saying, hey, we got the better of the situation. We kept Scary in lane, so a little bit more time without that full damage. Of course, you're sitting on, 50% health on the Jinx, so maybe it's not exactly as nice as you would have liked.
Icelandic hero. That man, truly national hero. He died, right? He was first blood. It went over the way of Scary Jerry, which is, of course, a terrifying thought to think that you're giving that man first blood. But he comes back onto Rift, takes Scuttle, and immediately invades. And you can tell that Iconic was not ready for that. Successfully invades, gets back out. So Ole Miss, specifically Icelandic hero, still a lot of spunk in them. Top side. What? How is Nem9 so far hit this early?
I was waiting for you to say that because you laid it up the Gwen should not be winning. The Gwen is up about 10 CS and just chilling. There has been no problems for N9 right now and is about to take a plate as well. That's amazing.
Okay, so maybe it's the changes they made to K'Sante. I'm going to be honest. I still haven't made up my mind on whether K'Sante is a buff or a nerf, the way they changed him. It seems like from a lot of the people I've spoken to, they say it's a buff and that he's really, really strong in trades right now. But I guess with the wider windows of opportunity, Nem9 has been able to take advantage of them. And maybe the matchup between Gwen and K'Sante has also changed a little bit. So seeing, Nem9 get that early shove, be up that CS, granted it was just that wave, was kind of weird to see. Uncle Sam has flash. Shouldn't die here.
Good flash, and that's going to be a tower shot as well. The laser behind actually keeps them locked in mid, because take a look at what they're doing on the other side of the map outside in Dragon. It's taken. So Sam going to be more than okay losing that flash if your team gets Dragon.
Great sidesteps from PCL to make sure that he doesn't get run down either. Both Nem9 and PCL actually running the Ghost, one thing we didn't mention. So they're very, very equal. But yes, bought first Dragon, and it's Ocean Drake as well, going to Ole Miss. So that's going to be good to them. They've already got really, really good scaling on their side. The extra regeneration in lane is going to just slowly give them the edge, considering that there's not a lot of insta-burst damage to come through just yet. So when it just comes down to a lot of like chip damage and a lot of poking between the lanes, Ocean Drake's probably the best for that, and that's why I love it as a first Drake.
It's so nice. Every time you take a little bit of fragment damage, you're like, that's okay. Give me 5 seconds. I'll be fine. It's a nice little setup there. Taking a look here, though, we are seeing that pressure back out, and PCL is trying to gain some traction here. Now, keep in mind, the big thing that we saw in game number 1 is PCL and N9. They were pretty much trading early on and actually burning those teleports very, very quickly. In this current situation, neither has actually done so. Instead, they coordinated their backs very, very well. They've been able to buy up in a decent manner as well. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play. Right now, though, Sam is about to get treatment number 1 game. The same of 3 or 4 joining him in mid lane.
Well, bro, I think part of that goes back to the teleports you're talking about for these top laners, because we're at 8 minutes. Herald's coming up. And that's why I think we're seeing Silly Billy or Scary Jerry and Zyko roam out to get that pressure onto Dragon Knight. That's why we also saw the top laners hold the TPs to try and get that shove, reset, and then TP back into the fight. Now, Nem9 used his to get the Leeching Leer, the component for that Rift Maker, but because of the early rotate that came through from Maryville, they're just going to see this Herald, completely to Maryville. They're not going to bother about it. Instead, they're just going to try and farm up where they can, answer somewhere else in the map.
That'll be fun to kind of watch as well. Now, with those lines drawn, it's actually in Iconic's pocket. Where do you want to go with this? You are level 6. You do have that roam potential. You have that chance to actually fight against Icelandic as well. But Icelandic is saying, hey, I got a much better chance. But look at that get back there. Get back said, nah, don't worry too much. Actually dodged away. And I want to give huge props there. That takes some balls to dash away back into the mid lane and then hammer back to Icelandic to try and get out of there.
Yeah, it looked kind of weird for a second because, like, why are you running away from safety? But it dodged out the stun, or the additional stun from the Rel, and it created all that space that allowed Get Back to just barely survive. And hey, a win's a win. Can they catch Uncle Sam, though? Icelandic's over the wall.
Oh, that's going to be the force stun. That feels bad, and it's well done. Maryville collect a kill, and, Get Back's like, ha, that's what you deserve.
Get Back didn't even actually complete the recall, just decided, hey, you got the kill, I'm going to try and get in there. Didn't get the assist, gets the shove instead. Well played from Maryville, and that's what we said we wanted to see from Iconic, right? Hit level 6, get the ultimate, start making the plays around the map. Now, I was thinking more bot lane, but hey, taking in mid, that's fine too. We did say that Jace being the poke is the most effective champion right now on the side of Maryville as the game goes on.
And I want to ask, right? That is now the second time that we've actually watched a chase happen on Iconic, right? Iconic chasing after Icelandic in terms of where they're actually trying to punch into the map. Do we see that continue with that Weaver's Wall kind of chasing after the curtails of Icelandic, or do we start to see Iconic try and make their own plays around the map?
Well, I'm hoping we see something, because for a second there, I saw nothing. Right. Well, I think for Iconic, especially being a Talia with the Weaver's Wall, either kind of works. If you are going to be the aggressor, if you are going to be one making the ganks, I'd like to see Iconic make a play away from Icelandic, because I think if it's kind of funny with these jungles, I think whoever makes the later move actually is going to win out a lot of times. Whoever can disengage and allow their laner to pump out the damage on that CC, especially once the initial burst is out, wins that out. So I think Iconic has all the cards, whereas Icelandic doesn't. We're seeing the attempted engage and not landing it.
I think this is exactly going back to what you said, because this time Icelandic chases behind the likes of Iconic and grabs a kill for themselves. You're a psychic, RMC. Jeez, what the heck?
Hey, and it happened when the Talia Weaver's Wall wasn't up, so Iconic left, couldn't actually come back. That bot said, I was watching Rhino not land anything at first. I was like, no, this is not. Surely Zyko doesn't get out, right? His ult is down, but there's just too much chase down potential. And speaking of chase down potential, we did talk about Ghost in the top lane. I do want to highlight Shogo is running Ghost on Jinx, not Cleanse. So Shogo's positioning not only is going to have to be on point and easier with the Ghost, but let's not forget the potential chase down as well from this Jinx. Once you're excited, you move fast. But to get that first kill, I'm expecting to see Shogo get some very aggressive forward movement later on in some of the later team fights.
especially with that ghost. I'm excited to watch it happen. So we'll see if it does happen and if Maryville can shut it down. Right now, Dragon is coming up here, and this is going to be the Cloud. So not only do you get most of the secondary, almost passive buffs here, if you get the move speed, that's going to make these movements around the map that much more difficult. However, take a look at the wards that are currently being cleared out. Majority share of Ole Miss has been set up and being forced to clear out. Get Back is going to try and make some move, but they do draw the teleport. Rhino a little bit late to try and back away, and because of that, you do get caught, and PCL is going to run down that ADC. The wall is going to come through and also draw them in, but a great magnetic storm is going to keep Shogo alive. Because of that, you are safe, and that could have been a heck of a lot worse. Well done by Ole Miss to kind of stem the flow of bleeding, but Maryville with a great collapse on bot.
Yeah, and there's that Dragon you're talking about. I was hoping we'd get to see a massive team fight Orbital, but that's not to be as they're pushing back. I love that they dropped the Herald as well. They're tripling down on this bot lane, and Rhino is playing the fight. You're no Bart this time.
I mean, you did this once or twice or thrice now. However, it doesn't matter because the ADCs are actually going to fight. We got to go back, though. Rhino is trying to keep them in place, give time for Sam to get there. But the ADCs, the big thing is they have danced the dance of death. Big damages between the two. Both of them now losing their flashes. And Sam trying to start up this Dragon. And I don't think Iconic is going to challenge it at all. Oh, well, hold on. They were on a ward. I only said no because I was wondering, where they were. But yeah, they drew the X to doubt across my screen right there. They are actually fighting, by the way. They are going in. That's going to be another double knockup. The shove gets 2, and they stun as well. Zyko, though, in that Unbreakable Will is going to be taken quite low. PCL had enough time to recall and walk his way back to this Dragon after a third attempt between both the teams. The fourth shall go the way of Maryville.
This seems to be a signature of this particular series, Orbital. The fact that the fights are never really over when you think they're over. Even now, watching Iconic do this, I'm watching everybody abandon Iconic, and I'm thinking Iconic might get caught out. It's bait.
Oh my gosh.
Over the wall.
Rhino, I can't keep saving you. You still live. That is ridiculous. This is now the 5th time these teams are fighting, and it's given to Ole Miss.
Zyko.
Rocket from downtown. You know what? Just the icing on the cake. No one knows what's going to happen. Shogo gets another snipe between these two games.
I don't know what sort of cake that you normally eat, but beef cakes to me aren't dessert. That's it. I can't believe that just happened. That was what a weird series of events. I was hoping to see a team fight break out between these two teams, especially Ole Miss. They are the team fight composition, but I expected that they needed a little bit more time, and you're already seeing how strong this comp can be in these sort of set plays, especially when you're stuck in that choke point like that tri-bush on the bottom of the map. And now I'm very, very worried for Maryville, because this early on already, you're struggling with the team fights. This early on already, you're struggling to kill Shogo, right? The Weaver's Wall came out. That little gap, Shogo had no ghost. If not for that little gap, Shogo dies. But it's these sort of little errors that later on will cost you not just an objective, but the entire game.
And the fact of the matter as well is this top side is not going in your favor either. Right now, this is M9 having a fantastic time. And because of that, Iconic has not really had as much control over, kind of full focusing the spot side. Because of that, Shogo and Rhino now have the priority. They now get to rotate out and look towards that mid lane, relieve Sam of their duty, give that big man a break from the mid lane, and then take their chances in other spots. Zyko now, though, doing the Rhino and having a little bit of a wandering path. It's going to be the Storm to zap away their health, but they're going to be okay. Still, though, 2 towers down in the blink of an eye does give Ole Miss a 1K lead.
I feel like every time I look at Zyko on my screen, he's just like ducking and he's in serpentine. He's like going back.
Not just Zyko. It's Zyko and Rhino. Every so often we're just like, okay, what situation did they put themselves in this time? Because remember, around the Dragon, it was also Rhino that walked in for a second time.
True. These supports, man. Like I think that's what we just need to keep the cameras on. Is where are the supports? That's where the action's likely to be.
Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? In the middle of the enemy. I don't know where else. Sorry.
Just camera lock. You mentioned top side though. Let's go back to that for a little bit, because I do think that's actually a really, really important point that you mentioned, that PCL had to roam down, and that gave Nem9 an eternity up in the top lane. All that fun we were having down there, Nem9 was up there hard at work clearing minions, taking down the turret, and because of that, not only is he like half an item above PCL right now, but he's got levels as well. Zyko, bro. Serpentine, back and forth.
Both of them still think that they're like utility supports that have a lot of move speed and like they like have smaller hitboxes. Nah, bro, you are two beefy boys that are having fun. Zyko though said, "Hey, I don't even care. I see no one on the side here. I'm gonna go ahead and use that gate." Look at all the pings going down. The minimap is just a wash of blue as everyone on the side of Maryville is like, "Where is everyone? We need to spot them." However, battle lines currently drawn between 3 and 3, and that's gonna be dangerous. Iconic has to flash over the wall, and that is a rough spot to lose your flash. And yes, the tower goes down, but that still hurts to lose a flash over that.
Part of me's like, why are we brute forcing this bot side so much? So let's slash, you'll be fine. Yeah, like why are we? I understand why they're doing it. They wanted that turret, but at the same time, it feels like a lot of attention has been paid to this bot lane. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, Uncle Sam, why did he come back?
Uh-oh. What?
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I would like to. Nope, I can't. No.
Rocket.
Come on, land off screen.
Ooh.
Okay, it did not land on Zyko. A good guy get back, body blocking that.
Yeah, that's a real mid right there. Body blocking for your support, making sure.
Absolutely not. A real mid would have walked away. You know that, RMC. You 100% know that.
A good mid would never die for a support. A great mid would make sure neither of them dies. And get back was a great mid. Iconic getting zoned out. Oh, is he caught this time? No flash.
Yeah, that's look at payment. Just a minute ago, you lost your flash, and now it's not only Sam, but also Iconic that is losing out. Now we get the Featherstorm in the mid because Scary got scared and had to burn it to stay safe.
Like Iconic thought he was mid laner. Oh, hold up.
Good, not good.
Oh,
but the Magnet Storm is
good.
still going to draw him in. That's going to be get back taken under tower. Uncle Sam coming in to try and get the lasers down. Needless to say, this is still 4 mid, so control over to Ole Miss if they want to try and take this tower. Meanwhile, again, the top side is pushing, so this 4-1 working in Ole Miss's favor.
Yeah, unfortunately, Iconic's still dead. Even if you have Weaver's Wall, even if you have those Hextech gates, yeah, just stepping up there costs Maryville a lot. And it goes back again to the composition. You're seeing it. The lack of engage power for Maryville. Now, if Get Back was accelerated, which he kind of is. He's 40 CS up from Uncle Sam, but that's not far enough. We haven't seen the Mirror Mana come through yet. If Get Back was ahead, maybe you can poke them off. Maybe that's enough. But if Get Back isn't ahead, then what are your options as Maryville right now? How do you even look for an engage? If Iconic steps up looking for the pick, well, he just steps back to base. Herald being taken down right now as Dragon is up. Ole Miss, specifically Nem9, has TP available if they want to 5v5 this.
Well, the chance might actually come with the fact that Uncle Sam is currently fighting one-on-one, but actually winning it out. Take a look at how long this fight is going because of that. That is actually going to be Get Back stormed out. Now, keep minds on how hard this split is. Sam, at this point, you're in full retreat mode. You are just trying to burn time, and you're doing it. Take a look. The feather's not landing either. You're baiting for it. Look how long Sam is living. You're actually going to clear out the wave as well. They're getting nothing, and because of that, the long lane of top lane will go the way of Nam9. And even through all that, Zyko is only one to pick up that kill.
And now this is why it's really unfortunate for Maryville again, because now you want to do Dragon, but you have to be wary of a 4v4 happening. Because Uncle Sam's really strong, but Shogo and Nem9 are the two major threats on to this team. Ole Miss, though, they're not going to coin flip this. They're just going to give this away. I respect that. There's no need to coin flip this. They're not going to coin flip this. They're not.
You're saying that, and it is taken. However, the ensuing fight might be there. This is a 3v5, though. I'm not sure how much they really want to take this. Magnet Storm to grab 2. Rhino trying to body block, and Geiger comes in from the backside. They are going to win this fight. That's a shutdown onto Scary Jerry. Still Nem9 looking for another PCL, getting shredded by the scissors, and that's going to be a blown up to Leah in the Dragon Pit. For the Dragon, you pay 3, and Ole Miss go, thank you very much.
Baron?
No.
I mean, right now, like, Iconic's down for 20 seconds. You have a very, very fed Jinx who is IE completed already. No, they're just going for the push instead. They're going for save. So, I'm glad overall. It wasn't the 50-50. At least not the one that I was worried about. They didn't just run in to try and kill that dragon. Instead, they went for the ensuing fight. And it popped up. Look at those gold numbers right now. Both in top and in bot, especially. That's like a 2+K difference in the top lane, 2K in the bot lane. And in the mid lane, where Get Back actually has a CS advantage because of the kills, because of the global, or what kills? Uncle Sam's 0-3 right now. Because of the global pressure in the turrets, he's not that far behind. So Ole Miss right now, they're dominating where they need to dominate. They're accelerated where they need to be ahead. And their late game comp, it's starting to look almost like late game for them. Uncle Sam. 4-0
well,
now.
Sam's gonna be stuck in mid game for a while, I think. 0-4, just like, yeah, that's all you really got. However, you were just talking about the current situation to Ole Miss, Maryville. This is where things got a little bit testy back in game number 1 as well. This is actually where we saw a lot of desperation start to come out. I think specifically between Iconic and Get Back, we started to see them look for those opportunities, look for those chances to get fights down. And it was around this time, once they find a pick, they're looking for those kills, they're looking for those engages, and sometimes they push a little bit too far. In this situation, though, they do have the player advantage, and they are happy about it as well. Looking to get some wards down, they do. Not as many as they would probably like, but it's enough.
Okay. Ole Miss right now, it strikes me as kind of not weird, not unfortunate, but well, unfortunate for Maryville. Let's go with that. That you get the pick onto Uncle Sam. They're doing really well on that front. And notice that Maryville couldn't find any advantages of that. Heck, they couldn't even get that vision you were talking about, Orbital, down. It's Ole Miss who was getting all the vision down. They're the ones who secure the scuttle. And Maryville, with a technical numbers advantage, can't really push in. And now that Ole Miss is all back up, yeah, you still want to play the side lanes, and yes, the TP is on Uncle Sam, but even at this point, if Uncle Sam gets picked, I think Ole Miss just go for Baron, and they find the kill. Or they just group up and brute force right now, because 5v5, I think they can start diving turrets.
I think just one player they can. I mean, Nem is looking at it while the rest of the team is pushing out. Take a look at where Sam is. Sam is again thrown into the top side. Icelandic, though, looking for a chance and actually burns that flash out of Iconic again. Remember how much pressure, by the way, Maryville were putting down in the draft phase, just trying to keep Icelandic down in the dumps. Right now, working fairly well. Currently 2 items up with those Merc Treads in tow. And I mean, strong enough to force Iconic out of their own jungle role. As long as you keep track of where Talia is, it seems like Ole Miss are going to have a good time.
Orbital, I just realized Ole Miss is playing like old Maryville.
Ooh.
They've got the split pusher. Back in the previous iteration, it would be Niles doing this in the side lane, where Niles just gets ahead enough. Oh, hold up. What happened here?
Rhino decided to cosplay Zyko and walk into 4. Icelandic might actually have the same issue there as a giant rocket lands on their face, and the rocket from behind.
That's a reset.
Magnus from behind, and now we get to see the pop off. Zyko tried to get in range, but even
you don't run from this,
won't be able to stop you. Now you get to try Scary Jerry looking more like a kitten as they fall 3 dead in the blink of an eye, thanks to Rhino's help. However, the fight back is real. Get Back says, "Get back from my bush. I'll at least take your life as payment." The chase down, though, you will pay your own life as well. There is no way you get away from the scary horse lady. I mean, you can bounce him back as much as you want, but take a look at who's coming through that teleporter. Welcome to death. It is going to be the slice as the kill is granted to the Gwen.
I really wish we had a replay function to catch what happened with Rhino there. That's when you type /alt worth.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe the comms was Rhino get picked. But hey, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They get even more kills. It's snowballing. And that just speaks to how strong Ole Miss's composition is, that they can make a misplay like that, and it doesn't even matter. You saw how quickly Shogo just shredded through multiple members of Maryville. And right now, if you're not PCL, Shogo's couple crits, you're dead. Like 3 crits and you're dead. And 1 crit and the fight's basically over, it feels like, with Shogo right now, especially with the Super Mega Death Rocket ready to go. So for Maryville, I don't know, man. I'm waiting for a miracle, but it's not looking like the rematch. This is brand new 2-0 it's looking like for Ole Miss right now.
And the fact that if it does go 2-0, I know some people might be like, it doesn't really matter, but this will actually be Maryville's first 2 game losses of the season as well. That's pretty impressive right there. Maryville have been undefeated in series and game score. They're 8-0 across their games. The fact that they already lost game 1 feels kind of bad, but to lose 2 in a row would be a pretty interesting hit. And I mean, that'll be fun to watch maybe in the playoffs later as well to see how far things go. Taking a look at the breakdown here, though, getting into it, that is going to be sole point sitting for Ole Miss on all dragons as well. It is going to be that Hex Tech. Right now, though, Nem9 about to get the Uncle Sam treatment here as 5 are currently corralled around. Look at that bounce house take off, and even still being able to slice out just shows how strong Nem9 currently is.
Hold up. Shogo, you can
round
clean
two,
house,
baby. That's gonna be another rocket and just one more hit granted to the aftershock. And now Zyko has to get out of town. Another zap lands with Shogo now caught on their own. They might have bitten off a bit more that they can chew as the slice comes through. Icelandic about to get knocked up. This is where that composition starts to come into play. Maryville able to slice and keep everyone in that spot. That is gonna be 3 dead, 4-1 as Iconic will pay their life.
Oh, bro, Maryville has found the solution. Apparently, killing Uncle Sam's not the issue. It's killing everyone else. That's easy. Just leave Uncle Sam alone and just kill everyone else. It kind of works. And unfortunately for Ole Miss, they're really, really strong. But Shogo was caught without his front line for about the only time this game. Rhino wasn't by his side. And while Icelandic Hero tried to be the front line he needed, when all of Maryville is collapsing around, you do need the extra bodies. That's why they drafted the Braum in the first place. In Maryville, they're trying to make maximal use of this. Those picks, key. Uncle Sam showing bot side without TP, key. And that's going to be free Baron for Maryville.
Taking a look here, though, Rhino's going to try and play big, scary monster here. Rocket may be coming through here. TP straight behind.
Wait, no,
and it's going to go down. It's very, very quick. It is gone, and it is taken. All 5 members are alive at the current moment. However, the chase forward... Needlework actually goes a little bit right. The rocket will take it away again. Shogo, the absolute marksman with these shots. That's going to be 1 Baron taken away. Not as many as we were expecting, but they do live. Maryville get away with 4.
Yeah, and for Maryville, that's a win. Right, sure, you lost Iconic on the back end of it, but you got Baron, you get the objective bounty. Now, the big problem is how much are you going to lose while Iconic's dead? You can see Shogo already shoving in, Nem9 already shoving in as well, so that's 2 more turrets to their name. That's a negative Baron power play to start for Maryville, unfortunately, if we don't include the objective bounty. And for Maryville, I don't know how much they can push with this Baron either, because so far they've been catching Ole Miss overextending, but if Maryville overextend, that could just very well be game in one fight.
It feels more like it was that moment of we have to take it, right? I mean, it's the objective. You can't let it go to waste, especially when you get those kills. I think even when we were watching, it wasn't the immediate call to go to Baron. It was a very slight recall into going for that Baron. Now taking a look here, though, it is going to be a chance once again. This is now the second time Nem9 is getting 4-man punished for taking a wave or 2, but you still get that kill. Iconic. I mean, you'll take that trade. You're happy about it. That is another kill on board. Of course, it's not the Baron. Iconic had fallen earlier as well, but it still feels bad. Or no, that wasn't Iconic. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
that was Scary Jerry.
Okay,
Second Baron off.
That's 2 Barons off. And again, we already mentioned that it's not like the Barons were going to be pushing Barons anyways. Those were stalling Barons to come through. So if Maryville wanted to stall with it, it's fine. It's a bigger issue more that Scary Jerry's dead, because you wanted Scary Jerry to be picking up as much farm as possible to try and continue popping off in these fights, stopping any threat from coming through. Well, not that a lot of threats have been coming through. It's just been Shogo kind of firing artillery from a screen away, it almost feels like. But for Maryville, it's critical that it took that much to kill Nem9, and he still got the kill. Because look at what Nem9's building. Stopwatch and inventory already there. So the next time that happens, it's going to take you longer to kill Nem9. If he can answer 1 for 1 and stall you long enough for the team to come in, that's what Ole Miss is looking for.
In this current situation as well, those 1-1s can be very, very important depending on where the team is currently drawn. We have Dragon coming up in a minute, which will be Soul for Ole Miss if they're able to get it. So these next couple kills, how many people Maryville actually want to send up to deal with Nem9 will be very, very important. If they send more than 1 or 2, expect the rest of Ole Miss to just be like, we'll take it. Whatever we can get, we can take. They are quite strong. You take a look at the items in the inventory as well. We even have Zeke's Convergence coming out here, which I have not seen in quite some time, which is obviously landing in Shogo's pocket. That is massive. You get so much extra damage from it. I mean, I'm terrified for what a full team fight will look like. Maryville also probably wondering the same.
I think a full team fight Orbital will look a lot like just missiles blowing up everywhere. That's Runan's Hurricane completed for Shogo a while ago. Actually, we haven't seen a team fight since that has happened with the Zeke's Convergence, as you mentioned. Maryville looking to try and start this fight because Nem9 has put them on a timer of the split push.
Oh, not just that. Take a look at that quick recall coming in, but PCL I think is being seen on that recall. It's going to be timed out? No, I thought it was quick. It's not. That's actually going to be an inhibitor down without the Dragon even being touched on. Well done by Nem9, and PCL I don't think has enough firepower to actually deal with it. Because you got to jump in, and now we get those rockets. Now we get the firing damage, and look at that split once again. Sam getting some revenge on Iconic, gets that solo kill on the side, and is now going to force the rest of Maryville as they scatter. PCL has to teleport in, but the fight's over. You have to get away. In comes Nem9 over the wall. Needlework going to land on one, slow them down enough. Zyko might pay with their life. On the back end, Scary Jerry was able to finish off Sam, but it's not going to be enough.
Nice, still
Look
there.
at that ghost. Look at that damage. Silly Billy, you're running for the hills like a Billy goat
the
out
rocket!
of water. Another snipe lands as Shogo is stacking that get excited. At this point, you're running rampant. That is 3 dead on the side of Maryville as they can just try and push for the win.
Get Back is sandwiched between 2 tanks. They can't kill Get Back, but Get Back can't kill them either.
Oh my gosh, this is looking like it's done here. They're gonna try and go forward. Yeah, they're not even caring. That's gonna be Get Back to try and stop them all. The wave is cleared at least, and it looks like they've done the job. They're going to lose their lives in turn. A huge trade though. PCL gets the kills.
They did
but
it?
the main one is still there. Nem9 is alive. Icelandic, you have served your purpose well. The double kill went PCL's way, and they're 3-1-3. Most importantly, though, Dragon is available, and Iconic could try and go there. Oh,
Uncle Sam has TP down. Those are 2 huge damage dealers. If Maryville walks blind into them, Uncle Sam's walking blind into them.
All right, they're slow. They're slow. That's enough. But look at that. Now it's Zyko going, oh, crap. I got to get some help. They're going to pin themselves against the wall. Take a look at this. That's the worst place to put yourself. Iconically swings themselves into death once again. Sam is going to get bounced back, but the lasers are just too much. PCO gets there late, and MU falls straight into death. There is not a chance in the world that you win this out unless Scary Jerry is allowed to live. That storm, the stasis field, will keep them all at bay. But look at the needlework. Look at the scissors. They are snipping straight through PCL. This problem will continue. The damage will persist. And with Get Back now jumping in with the teleport, they're going to try and continue this fight. Cue the Benny Hill music because it's on point. We are fighting till
Shogo's coming, Rocket.
Look at this rocket. Rocket! Let's go, Shogo! Shogo says, get out of my house. You will not cross the river.
They keep going. Icelandic's found the flag.
It's not done. It's not done. All right. Here we go again. That's Scary Jerry up into the front of the storm. You're not getting caught. That's Get Back going down for the second time within a minute. And out goes Scary Jerry. Icelandic is trying to run that one, but the dragon will be taken. It will be Soul for Ole Miss. Of all things, the lasers, the electricity will be Maryville's downfall.
I keep asking this, but Orbital, how are they not? These objectives don't go down. The fights don't end. We have 33.5 minutes of gameplay in Orbital. We have, 38 kills, and it feels like we've had 40 minutes worth of fighting between these 2 teams because they just keep on going. And it speaks to the mechanical skill of these players that the fight's not over when you think it's over, because especially when the damage dealers are up, they know that, hey, I can still facilitate this catch. Hey, I can still make this happen. And while Maryville staved off disaster, it looked like they're going to be able to bounce back. Instead, they're not going to get anything. That's Soul to Ole Miss. That's Baron, the way of Ole Miss. And that was a lot of money, the way of Ole Miss.
I mean, at this point, I don't even think the money really matters as much because it's really about where that money is held. You take a look at where a majority bulk is on Shogo, right? Shogo's had a great time, by the way. Shogo has not cared, and in multitudes of these fights has not even been on screen. You take a look at the kill count, 10, 3, and 4, 18K, with still sitting on 1,200.
Jeez.
I would also like to point out, you have a GA for safety. You don't really care. You're fine. We're going to take a look at the spot side, who currently has 17,000 in their pocket, and M9 is looking to shred through, and that's going to be the kill. Iconic is just shredded. That is a ridiculously quick kill. Now you're looking for another. The is not going to do too much, but look at that mid lane. They all have to get back as quickly as possible. Hey, namesake. PCL trying to run away as quickly as possible. 422 crit on the tank. Of all things, you will not last a freaking second. Now the rest of the team is here. Get Back trying to hold them off, but this Nexus tower is going to fall very shortly. Zyko getting the knock up, but look at how quickly you shred. You do not have that ultimate. You do not have any sort of resistances, and the base is open. Look at the rockets flying away. It will be the Magnet Storm to keep them all in place. And Ole Miss say thank you very much. Ace to end it all. 26-18. Ole Miss 2-0 Maryville.